Me. Please rise to the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Paul Cuny,
Present.
Al Davis,
Here.
Charlie Keel,
Here.
Robert Laraway excused, Brent Peavy,
Here.
Carol Shannon here, Dave Torgerson.
Belatedly, yes.
Yay.
We have an agenda for us. Anything to be added, detracted, comment upon? Seeing none, we'll accept the agenda as written. How about the consent agenda? Anything to be taken out? So Chair will entertain a motion to accept the consent agenda.
I'll make the motion.
Motion made by Davis to accept the consent agenda, seconded by Cuny. Discussion, seeing none, all in favor, aye. Those say no. Motion carries. Only comments I have is that I'm gonna buy a clock.
An alarm clock?
Something to start the heart. I just wanted to comment on everybody that we had a lot of good feedback after the election. And the meeting after the election, the committee meeting with Lake Restoration, we've gotten off to a pretty good start. And we appreciate everybody's support and hard work for doing that. And for achieving that. So that's all I have. Mr. Manager.
Short report tonight because I was on vacation for the last week. For those of you who live on the west side of the lake, the chip and fog project is nearing completion. This week we'll be getting the lines painted on, and that will be that. More than likely, I'm not gonna have the rest of the lines done this fall. I think we can hold off till spring. You know, we didn't plow a lot this winter, so I don't think that they're, you know, in bad shape in terms of the rest of the streets. So my plan is this project will get those streets we just did, and then in the spring, we'll do all of them again. You know, it's kind of the funky thing about us with our fiscal year being on July 1 is we appropriate the money. So either we do it at the start of the fiscal year and it looks nice going into winter, or we do it at the back end of the fiscal year and it looks nice throughout the summer. So I'm thinking do that. ZBA meeting was held earlier tonight. The ZBA was very appreciative of the changes that were made in the ordinance that allow them more flexibility. So you might remember the ordinance has 10 different criteria that, you know, help determine whether or not there's a practical difficulty or a hardship. When we updated the zoning ordinance last fall, we moved it from having to meet all 10 to only needing to meet 7 of those 10. So that allowed them more flexibility in this project. The form, which was just a side yard reduction for an addition on a lot that's oddly shaped. So they were thankful of that, and the meeting was smooth and fast. They also adopted new bylaws. Jim Urban was reappointed as chair and Angela Schofield as vice chair on the ZBA. I'm working on a new page on our website that'll just be for our streets. So kind of maps and data, that kind of stuff, but get more information out there on our website about the condition of the streets and, you know, the maintenance programs that we do and those type of things. It's under the Your Service tab, which is the third of the Your Government, Your Community, Your Services on the top. So it's there, it's under construction. I know, ironic for a street page, but
It's appropriate.
it's appropriate. Next week, we will be kind of offline for 2 of our 3 big software platforms. We are doing the migration and onboarding for BSNA for accounting and community development. It puts us in a little bit of an odd place right now for code enforcement because, you know, you have to do a data export at a certain point in time, and after that point in time, anything you do on the old platform doesn't come over to the new, so we're trying to limit what we're sending out right now because it's all gonna be handwritten and that kind of stuff. Otherwise, it's not gonna be something we can easily migrate over without fighting with the Comcade again to get it done in a timely manner. Parking lot ceiling, we're gonna get that done, in this fall. We requested quotes from 3 different companies and we were gonna go with Ideal. They did it last time. They will pull all the weeds and do all that for $2,100, restripe it. So good prices, right around what we paid. Gosh, it's been probably 4 or 5 years now since we last did it. And their product has held up well. Other than that, the Lake Restoration Committee will be meeting in this room next Wednesday, the 30th at 4 o'clock. And our friends on the Planning Commission have a meeting in September on the 12th. It'll be their first meeting since June. So with the new zoning ordinance, there's not a lot of work for them to do because we're not wordsmithing, an ordinance, but we will be getting into the master plan. The master plan was adopted in 2019. Statutorily, you have to review it every 5. So it's got to be reviewed within 24. So we'll start having those conversations at the next meeting in terms of what they want to do. And, I don't anticipate any major, rewrites, revisions, but we've done a pretty robust community survey each time we do it. And, with Survey Monkey, it's pretty easy to do that. It's not a big deal on our part anymore. So that's what we'll probably do just so we can kind of monitor some data points because, we ask the same question in 5-year intervals. It helps us track changes in our community in terms of attitudes and feelings and that type of stuff. So with that, I will happily turn it back over to you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, any questions for Mr.? All right, Sherman Township report.
A couple of quick things, the election stuff actually I'll start out with the other one first, and Tim, if we can do it, that'd be great, but the Sherman Township website is now up to date and been posted as of this weekend. On their ShermanTWP.com, you can actually bring that up and you now have the capability of paying your taxes online. So there's actually on the website, a buy or a purchase button on there for doing your taxes online. There's also all kinds of information on there that was not available on our website in the past. So if you guys want to take a look at it and let me know if there's anything that you think there should be additional on there or any other links and stuff like that. If there's something that doesn't work, I'd appreciate it. Let me know. Second thing is that the elections are proceeding along with Lansing dealing with their stuff and also Mindy at the county. They're still trying to figure out come February, next February, we have our primary election. They're trying to figure out whether the elections are going to be held at the county building, at the township building, grouping together townships and doing one particular building. Part of the reason why they're doing this is that we voted in 2022 to allow 9 days of free voting and all the rest of that kind of stuff that goes with it. So of course, there's a bunch of headaches that are coming along with it as well. So I just want to keep you guys up to date as I find out more information, working with Denise at the township as for where our actual voting is going to happen come next February for the primary stuff. So right now, it could be the county building, could be the township hall, could be a different building, but I'll let you guys know how things go from there. September 5th at 7 p.m., the county is having a budget hearing, a public budget hearing at the Council on Aging building. Why they're making that public is because they're still talking about doing the 3 mil millage asked for next November. So they want to be upfront and show how their budgets are going. I think from what Chris Umbry was saying last night, that they're also going to be looking at what's going to get cut if it doesn't go through for whatever reasons. They want to be upfront with people to tell them how to do that. I had a conversation with Chris as well last night after a meeting, and he is thinking as one of the options, instead of doing a permanent 3 mil upgrade, they may be able to do a small 4 or 5 year mill ask, so that would get them through their time frame where they can get back in the black and stay in there once they can figure out the budgeting and get the rest of that stuff done as well too. I don't know if they will go down that road if they can, but to me, I thought that might be something that would be easier to pass if it was a small 3, 4, 5 year kind of thing versus just 3 mills from now till whenever kind of stuff. So if you guys are interested, it'll also be online as well too, when they do that meeting, so you can watch it through YouTube as well, so. That about does it for me as of right now, other than just want to make sure that people know or let people know that they can pay the taxes online for the Sherman Township side of things as well, Broomfield Township. I don't know that they have the capabilities. That's it.
Okay, thank you. The whole report, anything?
They did have their annual meeting this last Saturday. Charlie was there as well as myself. I think the only important thing you guys probably know about is that the drawdown permit for drawdown expires September 23rd and has not been renewed yet by Lansing. So George said he's waiting to try to do stuff. If he can do something, I don't know what they're gonna do, but if he does start lowering the lake prior to September 23rd, we can still do our drawdown for the year. If we don't, we can't do any drawdown until the permit comes through. So I don't know where it's at that point. I don't know how he can spread the word that quickly. If people wanted to remove their docks and their boats before September 23rd. But I just want to give you guys a heads up. That was one of the main topics of conversation at the meeting on Saturday.
Okay. Anything to add, Charlie?
No, my blood pressure wouldn't take it.
Okay,
I can do a public comment.
portion of the meeting for public comment.
You want to take it?
No, you can.
Okay. The other part of the conversation we had last night in Sherman Township is the alleys in Sherman and Wademan themselves were supposedly abandoned by the road commission many, many years ago. There have been people who are asking lately to be able to add their lots or expand their lots into the alley area by taking over and doing that. Part of our conversation we had last night is that we think because of the upcoming sewer system that's gonna be possibly put in there, that Sherman Township ourselves may step in and try to get possession of all of the alley area. So that in the case when we do the sewer system, we could use the alleys for running down the pipes and do that instead of having to dig up the main road, you know, for doing that kind of stuff as well. So that's potentially gonna be something we'll continue to talk about here in the next meeting or two, so.
Okay.
Is that what you were talking?
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other public comment?
Relay that or not?
Okay, seeing none. We have no public hearing. Existing business, there is none, and new business. The item 9.1, draft ordinance 2023-03. Mr. Wolf.
So last month, the council disposed of the comprehensive update to Article 6 of the Codified Ordinances. There are 3 small articles left. Article 4, which is our transportation regulations, so that's Uniform Traffic Code, ORVs, and parking regulations. Article 8, which is our business regulations, so that's our rental housing inspections, peddlers, solicitors, and then Article 10, which is franchise agreements, utilities, Metro Act, that kind of stuff. None of them have any substantive changes that I really foresee coming before you guys, but in order to get the ordinance book consistent in terms of formatting and style, you need to go through and knock these other 3 sections out. So this is the first of those 3, the Uniform Traffic Code, the ORV regulations, and the parking regulations. The only change of note that is proposed in any of this is right now in the traffic code section, we only have adopted the Uniform Traffic Code. We haven't adopted the motor vehicle code as well. And there, I included a 1-pager from the MML there that explains that a little bit better, but you know, you should have both adopted for enforcing traffic regulations in your community. ORVs, all grammar. And then parking regulations, change it from overnight parking prohibitions to parking prohibitions, because it's not just overnight, it's more, changed additional to temporary, because that's what it's supposed to be. It's really temporary parking zones. So yeah, those are it for those three sections.
Could I ask a question?
Yeah. That's what it's for.
Okay. In the, let's see the page here. ORVs. When it says, ORV or vehicle means. I didn't notice, I don't know that I noticed anywhere in here reference to golf carts,
Because legally it's not.
but should we have something in
No.
our community?
No, because golf carts are regulated under the motor vehicle code. So this is a common misconception a lot of communities have is, oh, we just throw golf carts in here. You can't.
Okay,
Legally, golf carts are regulated under the motor vehicle code. It was a separate act adopted in 2016, 15. Because the definition of ORV and REPA doesn't cover golf carts. So our definition matches the statutory definition in the act.
okay,
And it's important because there are different legal ways that communities opt into these. So with ORVs, you'd have to adopt an ordinance. And that ordinance, you put in place your regulations, speed limit, helmet, that kind of stuff. Golf carts, because it's under the motor vehicle code, you can adopt a resolution authorizing them under the parameters established in the motor vehicle code, which are, can't be more than 15 miles per hour, cannot be operated on a street with a speed limit greater than 35, cannot be operated a half hour before sunset until a half hour after sunrise. Those are and must be operated by a licensed driver. Where an ORV, you can be 14 and legally operate it. You don't have to have a helmet on a golf cart. You do have to have a helmet under an ORV.
okay.
So people think, oh, it's just easy dumping them together,
Yeah.
but.
No, you've already told us that. I just forgot. So yeah, that's helpful.
And if you try to sneak around it by slapping an ORV sticker on a golf cart, that's also not gonna fly either.
Right,
But
okay.
for that to be an issue, you're gonna have to be acting a fool in some other capacity for that to be brought to law enforcement's attention.
So, so we don't want to do that. So, both ORVs and golf carts, are the rules the same in terms of, are they supposed to move over to the right side?
They're both supposed to operate on the right-hand side.
Right, and if they don't, because there are lots of people that don't now, and you can't, we have double lines, so we get some complaints. How do we deal with that? Honk my horn and yell out the window, or?
It's passing.
Okay, just go around, okay.
You know, we got tons of people that drive with, put their babies on their lap and take it on a golf cart. They
Yeah.
can't do that legally either,
I know,
you know.
yeah. Or
You got kids
8-year-olds
that
that
are-
drive,
14 years old driving a golf cart. Can't do that legally because you're not a licensed adult to drive it.
okay.
Because it's motor vehicle code, that's a law enforcement police officer jurisdiction.
Probably can't talk on their cell phones either then, huh?
That's a fair point. Yeah,
Oh, on the golf cart. How about the ORVs?
same.
Same, right?
No, this is not motor vehicle.
Yeah, it's not, it's under a different rule in here.
Yeah, probably you're right, yeah.
Huh.
And the interesting thing too, that, you know, we've, politely had conversations with people, just like, hey, heads up. You're coming home from the golf course, and if you've got, you know, an open can of beer left in there from your round of golf, you better get rid of that before you're driving on the street, 'cause that's a public street, that's an open intoxicant, you know.
Yeah.
You don't think about these things, because it's a golf cart, you know, but it's like, you know, all those things equal the same thing under the eyes of the law, but.
And you can drive your motorcycle at 80 miles an hour on the freeway without a helmet.
True.
That's always good.
Hopefully it's organ donations by their
Yeah.
one in delivery.
You classify in, I'm assuming, side by sides are classified under the ORV.
Yeah, that would meet the definition.
You're supposed to have a helmet on with those too.
Not if you have a windshield.
Windshield and a
Windshield.
roll.
I did read that,
Yeah.
a roof and a
Yeah.
windshield.
Yep.
I did read that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot.
Go-karts,
Yeah.
what do those fall under?
Ooh.
I don't personally,
ORV, actually, I would think.
if they have a sticker on it.
Yeah. And then you get into the fun one, the like electric scooters. Those, you know, driving those on a street is different than driving them on a sidewalk.
Mhm.
What about electric bikes?
Well, see, bikes are covered under the motor vehicle code. See, this was an issue that when we got into with Representative Cotter and got the law amended for the golf carts, we had meetings with the Department of Secretary of State, and, you know, they were going through the different classifications of things on the road, and, you know, someone brought up the Amish, and they're like, instruments of husbandry, you know, we're not dealing with that, and their big thing was they did not want to have to deal with registering golf carts at Secretary of State. That was literally their biggest thing, like, we don't want to deal with this, we don't want it, this part of it, you know. Other than that, like, we don't care, just don't make us register them at SOS, was what their bottom line was. And MDOT was like, as long as we can tell them not to be on MDOT roads, we're fine with that, you know.
So do they have to register the horse?
Just
I didn't catch it all.
This is sticker.
Yeah.
Good enough. Okay.
Little Elmers.
Okay, so we're gonna bring that, this is the official bringing it up, or?
Yeah, if you guys are good with this, we just need to have a hearing next month to. Probably next month, I'll have the next section ready for you.
Oh, good.
Just next to nothing on this.
Yeah,
There's nothing, yeah, okay,
Yeah, do it.
yep, let's do that then.
We gotta have a meeting next month.
Yeah, tell me in advance.
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Would you like a ride?
it's the 19th at 7.
Thanks.
You did set yourself
I
up for that.
did,
It's gonna be a
I did.
long time
Gonna
before
go
we
on for
drop
about
it.
3 more months.
I get it.
Yeah, yeah, I don't blame you.
Till the snowbirds leave.
Yeah, well, I don't blame anybody, except me.
We're gonna take you with us this year.
Actually, we don't care.
I might not show up.
No, we can't yell at you.
All right, resolution 2023-15, single parcel special assessments.
So in the last couple of weeks, we've mowed a couple of properties that needed nuisance abatement. If the council wants to move forward with the collecting of those costs, this is the first of the 2 resolutions we would need to adopt for each parcel. I preface that with, if you want to move forward in both of these situations, the property owner has passed away. No one's been caring for the property. One of them, the Cordova Lane, I believe is gonna go back on taxes this upcoming year. So I would say let it go. It's not worth it at this point in time, and, you know,
Yeah,
it's not like it's from neglect of a bad owner.
Yeah,
The
passed
person
away.
has passed away, so,
tough enough part.
but to not collect is your decision, not mine.
So if we're not, and you believe it will go for taxes, will we be then tending to this property until the tax sale?
Well, once the county takes hold of it, they'll be the responsible
Oh,
owner.
okay, okay. So they have to mow,
They do.
alrighty,
We usually have to inform the county at least once a summer that they've got a property they need to mow, so.
oh, okay, I did not know
Yeah.
that. Oh, all right,
yeah. Any problems with that?
No.
Okay,
That's right.
all right. Number 3, resolution 2023-16, budget amendment.
So the finance committee met earlier today. As you hopefully know, on August 8th, our community voted to approve the 3 mil special millage for lake and river improvement restoration. That funding will begin with our 2024 tax bill. So you're looking at usable funds of any significant amount a year from now. What I would recommend to the council, what I presented to the finance committee, is that we adjust our budget by taking the ARPA funds that we had obligated towards shortfalls on the sheriff millage. So we budget for 7 shifts a month, 12 months of the year. If that maxes out, that's like 45,000. Actually, no, 43,000. The millage, 1/3 of a mill, collects 33,000. So we brought 10,000 short if it maxed out. This last year, they billed us 35,500, so we would have been 2,500 off. And the council decided to use ARPA to pay for the lake patrols, which we've always paid for out of general fund anyway. So my recommendation to the finance committee this morning was reappropriate those dollars and the remaining 11,000 that we have unobligated for a total of 40,400 that could be used by the lake committee to do the testing on the river, the testing in the boat launch areas, do all these preliminary things that so when we get usable dollars in, we're good to go. We can start moving forward. We can begin work. We don't have to waste more time trying to get permits and tests done and that type of stuff. And get the supplies needed to do the testing. And, you know, the expenses for the sheriff patrol and the lake patrol would be general fund expenditures. They agreed that that is a usable idea. We're using ARPA money to do it as opposed to general fund money. You know, it's a hard cap of what we have available, which is $40,429 off the top of my head. Keep in mind that we are paying for the election and all the materials that we produce out of the general fund. That's in the budget already. So that's not coming out of that. This is money specifically that we would use to let the lake committee move forward and get rolling on the work that our community says is their priority, quite frankly. They came out and voted 2-1 to triple their taxes. That should not go unnoticed.
Yep.
So Tim, would there be no dredging this year? It'd be just getting permits and everything else, and then next year we start dredging?
I mean, potentially we could start in the spring would be my hope,
Okay,
but you know, right now we're backlogged because we don't have a drawdown permit,
right.
you know. But a drawdown permit, that
Unbelievable.
complicates things quite a bit.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I would have thought that would have been on their top of their list
You would have thought.
after all this work that the committee did, and they're on the committee. It's like, why did they do it?
Well, we've been saying to do it since March or May, April or May.
Don't bite it off.
So that's either way, you gotta get the testing done.
Yep.
Like you can't dredge before you do the testing.
Right.
Right.
You can't get the permit before you do the testing. So I mean, you know, and this I think helps put the priorities in order, like, you know, this is a limited amount of money that we have available to do this right now. You know, we have to be intentional about where we're gonna use it. We can't just go off and start testing every spot around the lake. That would make no sense, you know? And hopefully if we go down that road and perhaps get the permits for the 2 boat launch areas in the river, that'll help set some precedent that will avoid Eagle trying to lump all of it into one permit. Because that's been my concern throughout, is that the state's gonna look at this project and say, we're gonna treat it as one project and make you go through a red file with the EPA and do one permit for all of this work, as opposed to a permit for Birch Park, a permit for the launch here, a permit over here. You know, the keeping it broken up into smaller chunks for us, I believe, makes sense from the standpoint, those permits have a lifetime of 5 years. So there's no point for us to go and have to do one permit to do all of the work when, you know, we've got funding approved for up to 12 years. That to me is a good point that we can argue, say, you know, doing all of this as one permit doesn't make sense based on how we structured it here in our community. Letting us do it in piecemeal, you know, is the better approach, and it's the right approach for our community, because that's where we're gonna have money coming in increments that we're gonna be doing work in that fashion. We're not gonna, you know, try and do it all in one swoop, so.
Totally agree.
What kind of money is left, for if we should happen to have something catastrophic like we had a few years ago, you know, when the Wilcoxes was, we had this strong stuff come through. I hate to see us burn up all of our money and not have something, you know, set aside for something. I mean, geez, look at what's going on.
So as of July 31st, our general fund balance was $651,000. Our major street fund balance was $465,000. The local street fund balance is $158,000. Sewer fund, $8,000, give or take. We've collected $6,600 so far in our road patrol. So just doing the math off the top of my head, that's about 1.2 million. I think we've got healthy cash reserves to weather anything that comes up.
So, and that can be. That isn't allocated just for certain areas. It
So
can
like
be-
the local streets would be the local streets, the majors would be reserved for majors, but the general fund can be used however we want. So, you know, I think the budget, the end number projected with, if the budget amendments are approved to do this, the ending cash balance on the general fund for this year is projected to be like 547,000 off the top of my head, I wanna say. Which
548
is
is it?
like 105,
548.05 or,
that's close.
yep.
Which is like 171% of expenditures. Yeah, so we have the ability to not collect a dime of revenue and operate for like 18 months.
So we're covered basically
We're covered.
in the emergency.
Not bad for a community with less than 1 mil of operating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, that would have been my concern is to make sure that we,
Yeah.
you know, get ourselves into a bind.
No, we're,
You know, cause we just never know when something's gonna happen.
100% agree, and, you know, the auditor does mention every year that your fund balance is pretty high, you should probably spend some of it, but. You know, there's differing opinions on that.
Well, it hasn't been high for a long time. It's kind of, let's sit back and enjoy it a little bit.
Yeah. Well, you never know, that could go the opposite way real quick.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think we're good on this. We're covered for that, so I think we should just move ahead.
Yeah.
I'd hate to see anything hold us up now. I mean, the only thing I can see is the permit.
Yeah. Yeah,
But can you do the testing without the lake being drawn down?
yes, yeah.
You weren't here, but I
Yeah.
secured a boat today.
Oh, good.
We're gonna start, if having some money to like, you know, start the testing,
Yep.
the boat and that stuff, we're not gonna put money into it. That's
Put the one here,
goal, at
put
least.
the hole in the middle.
Drill a hole in the middle, it's gonna be like a soil collection boat, it's all it's gonna be good for. 5 horse on the back and,
No decoration.
Couple anchors and that's it.
no walls, no
Oh,
furniture.
no, we're gonna do
Oh,
stuff.
I hear me sitting on a bucket.
Bring your own bucket over.
Bring your own bucket.
Yep.
Build a tiki bar on it.
BYOB, bring your own bucket, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm worried about the hole in the center though for the tiki bar, yeah.
It's for your feet to pedal.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it's for. I had a different visual of that.
Oh, my.
It wasn't bad one.
Water patrol.
All right. So we need to adopt this resolution or, so. Chair will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion, we adopt, resolution 2023-16.
Motion made by Peavy to adopt resolution 2023-16,
I'll second it.
seconded by CUNY. Further discussion? Seeing none, I'll roll call, please.
Brent Peavy,
Yes.
Carol Shannon, yes. Paul Cuny,
Yes.
Al Davis,
Yes.
Charlie Keel,
Okay,
and Dave Torgerson.
Yes. Motion carries. Unanimously. Okay, second section for public comments.
Just something from the, information to you guys, Nottawa Sherman Fire Department. Randy Hall has been a captain there, worked for over 20 years on the fire department. Recently went through surgery and had quite a few organs removed because of cancer. They're having a benefit for him on September 15th. At 6 p.m. at the Nottawa Sherman Fire Department. And it's gonna be a meal there of pulled pork, beans, sweet corn and rolls. They're gonna have live band there starting at 7. Cornhole tournament, raffles and silent auction, but all the money raised for that is gonna be given to Randy and his wife to help them recover. He's gonna be out for at least 6 months before he can get back on his feet after this surgery. So, again, it's September 15th at 6 p.m. at the fire hall. If you want more information on it, the Facebook page. go to the Nottawa Sherman Fire Department Facebook page and the rest of the information's on there as well, so. I just wanna make sure you guys knew about it. Randy's been around for quite a long time in this area, 20 years on the fire department. I believe Phoebe has also been in EMS in work, so they've done a lot of service for us over the years, so. Be nice, it's $15 donation to go there and come to dinner and get your entertainment, so. That's all I have.
Thank you. All right. Lots of comments?
Want to thank the Lake Committee once again for the great job. So if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't have it. Thank you very much. I won't thank you when I start paying. But I will thank you when the lake gets restored.
Lots of thank yous, huh?
Mhm. Anything else?
The next meeting, September 19th, 7 p.m.
Is it at 7?
That's out.
I'm writing it down.
Okay.
Okay, we stand adjourned.